What's up, y'all? It's your boy eBay Fight Predictions. And today we got a different kind of video. This is not just a breaking news video because I'm so fucking late. I'm gonna call this a breaking news recap. So there's a lot of news that came out that I actually want to talk about. And yeah, let's really get to it, man. Um, Besides all the other stuff, and dude, there's so much stuff we got to talk about. So this might be me be closer to 10 or 15 minutes, so just letting y'all know before that. But yeah, let's talk about the first thing. UFC 267 will not be a pay-per-view in the USA. Obviously it will take in Abu Dhabi. They do have two title fights. I'll talk about that, but more or less I'll talk about, man, is this disrespect towards Jan Blachowicz and Glover Teixeira? I don't know. um but apparently I think they're saying this will be a pay per view in other states, but I don't know if they've said that yet. I think they just only. I think it's a non pay per view. I don't think you have to pay for this, and there's nothing wrong with that. I there's not, and it's a non pay per view since UFC 138, by the way. So it's been a minute since they've done this, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's just like it's a pay per view because it got the UFC 266, so it's gonna be that. But we saw a similar situation where they canceled a whole entire event last year, UFC 231. I think that was the card that I think was 231, and because I guess Colby Covington didn't want to fight Usman, or Colby didn't fight T Wood that time. I remember Robbie. A lot of fights were scheduled and that day, and I think they had T.J. Dillashaw and Henry Cejudo on that pay per view. Instead, they made it a fight night card, if I remember correctly. And yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting how that happened, and how things ended up being. And I think, if I'm being honest, just my opinion, and I could be wrong, I feel like that's we're very close to seeing that happen with the Jan Blachowicz versus Glover Teixeira fight. And I think they were thinking about maybe even canceling it if they didn't have a second fight. Now they ended up getting a second title fight on it, so it's a decent card. Um, I can't wait for it. Jan Blachowicz versus Glover Teixeira, true number one contender versus legitimate champion. I think we don't get a lot of those nowadays, but we got one. It has a big fight feel. It reminds me a lot of, like, at the time. I know you guys don't. I don't respect Gilbert Burns as much as a lot of y'all right now. But before, when y'all used to love Gilbert, when he fought Kumar Usman at UFC 258, there was that big fight, number one contender versus champ feel, and it was a great fight. Ended up being really really good. But I wasn't too sold on Gilbert, but it is what it is at the end of the day. But it had that feel like, man, Gilbert's ran through the competition. He beat he beat Woodley. He's beaten former champion Woodley. He's looked amazing, right? This and that, the teammate, all that stuff, right? You got that with Glover versus Jan. Glover right now is on a crazy win streak. Jan is also on a crazy win streak. Glover just had probably one of the better comeback performances against Thiago Santos. Fucking Jan Blachowicz just defended the light heavyweight division and taught the middleweight champion Titty Boy Adesanya a valuable lesson about respect and sit your ass down at 185. That's what he told him. So it's a great fucking fight. And I really, really can't wait for it, man. It's gonna be fucking phenomenal. But is it disrespect? I think it is. I think they're mad that Jan didn't fucking kneel down to Titty Boy Adesanya and give him the belt. So I don't know. I think it's just some type of form of disrespect. But it is what it is. It's just my opinion. I could be wrong. You never know. I don't know everything, but it's just that's how I personally feel. But yeah, next piece of news: Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier is being targeted for December, which is crazy. And this is via Charles. This is a crazy fight right here. I cannot wait for it. For some odd reason, I'm leaning towards Charles. And for the longest, y'all have heard me call Charles a bit of a quitter, right? And I think he still is one. But I don't know why I feel like this. I just don't think it's Dustin's time. It is what it is. I just personally feel like Charles is more technical than Dustin. Dustin can make it a fight. He can box. He can try to box with Charles. But I mean, after what I seen how Charles took down, Michael Chandler. He tried to take down Kevin. He got so close to taking down Kevin Lee in the first round. If you go watch it again, the guy has really good wrestling. I've never really seen it a lot, but I actually think he might do what Khabib Nurmagomedov did to Dustin, and we haven't seen that happen. But we also haven't seen a lot of guys try to take Dustin down, right? He's fought a lot of strikers. I remember Khabib said that, like, oh, you guys talk about his resume, but all he does is fight strikers, and I think we're gonna see this, I think we're gonna, you could say Eddie Alvarez is maybe the closest thing to a grappler. Eddie had a lot of success on the ground until, like, he did that dumbass elbow. But it's gonna be really, really interesting to see how Charles, game plans for Dustin. I think he should take a grappling approach against him, like he did Tony Ferguson, and just nullify him. But you look at Charles' last fight. He showed his grit. He showed his toughness. I think Charles right now, he has the belt. Obviously a lot of guys, they lose their motivation in their first title defense as a champion. But I never really felt like that. I always felt like it's the second or third where you see guys really lose motivation and they get complacent. That's how I feel, right? You saw it kind of with Woodley, right? He kind of got complacent. I think Charles is going to give Dustin Poirier everything he got in this first title defense. I think he wants to defend his title. I think he doesn't want to be known as a short-term champion. I don't think he's happy with just getting the belt. I think he wants to keep the belt for a very, very long time. And I actually want Charles to be a long-term champion, because at lightweight, I think the most title defenses is 3. And it's crazy. Like, you have such a great division, and, like, all these champions are dropping like flies. So I'd love to see kind of, Charles, prove his dominance against Dustin and, some of the other guys. I do feel like one day somebody will challenge Charles and they will bring that quitter out of him. But I don't know, man. Charles is the momentum. He's just at a different level right now. He's so high, and I honestly truly believe, I think Charles, he gets this done. I really do believe he gets this done. But Dustin can't do it. Don't get it twisted. Dustin can't do it. He got them swamp in them ears, so he ain't gonna be listening to eBay thinking like, oh, this or that. He gonna go in there and try to destroy that dude, man. So it is what it is. But yeah, next piece of news. Aljamain Sterling versus Peter Yan has been booked. The rematch for UFC 267. It will be the co-main event to Glover Teixeira and Jan Blachowicz. This is a great, great fight, man. I was talking to someone about this yesterday. Even though Aljamain Sterling did what he did, this fight is more puzzling and interesting than the first fight, right? And some people be like, eBay, how could you say that? I truly believe that, the dynamic of the storyline is what makes certain great fights. In my humble opinion, nobody before, I don't know why, but nobody had a lot of respect for Peter Yan as champ, right? They looked at his resume and this and that. For me, and it kind of pissed me off, and I like Aljamain, but I felt like Aljamain was kind of getting a little, like, getting this weird love for no reason, just because he has a great resume, don't get it twisted. But, like, people were discounting, fucking Peter Yan. And if you were following me back then in IG, I was roasting the shit out of Aljo. I was like, when it was Peter Yan's birthday, I was like, happy birthday to Aljo's pops, right? And some people got mad at me. But I felt like, man, you guys aren't really, like, I saw Yan fight Magomedov. When I saw that fight, I knew Yan was a legitimate guy, right? There was no questions about him being a fucking paper champ or this or that, but he didn't prove it yet, and that's the problem. You got to prove it. But I knew he was gonna prove it. I knew his skill was there. He is legitimately one of the better guys in the division, and he has the potential to be the bantamweight GOAT. In my humble opinion, I don't think it would be that hard for a bantamweight to surpass Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz has accomplished so much in that division, but he really didn't defend the belt a whole lot. But these guys can't even get to even a few title defenses in that division. So that's the problem. That's why I feel like everyone comes up short, right? And I felt like Yan, he didn't have the fan support yet. And then Aljo was just this lovable guy, right? That everyone felt like was getting screwed, When he fought Corey Sandhagen, they made him fight Corey Sandhagen, even though he just beat Pedro Munoz, who Pedro Munoz just knocked out Cody Garbrandt, and Cody Garbrandt just fought for a fucking belt. And he beat Pedro. That should have been a number one. He should have fought for the belt regardless. Instead, they make him fight Corey Sandhagen, right? And then, okay, he beats Corey. He runs through that fucking little hipster, right? Makes him look like a nobody. And I was so happy for Aljo when he did that, man. I was so happy for him. And then he has to wait a few times, right? They get the, I think they, no, this is even before. Corey ends up fighting Marlon Rice. And this is how you know they were trying to screw Aljo. They said if Marlon knocks out Corey, he's getting a title shot. And Marlon was supposed to fight Jan, a few, I think a fight night back in the day. I remember they announced that, right? But, I mean, it just was insane what they were trying to do with Aljo. And Aljo was just this lovable guy. And in pro wrestling, you always hear this, like, it's called a double turn, right? In the beginning of the fight, I remember against Aljo and Jan was like kind of like the I guess the bad guy, and Aljo was the lovable good guy that worked for everything. And then what you saw in the fight was probably one of the best things that ever could have happened, because they did a switch around. Now Jan's the good guy and Aljo's the bad guy. Now the sad thing is this is reality. This is real. And what's gonna happen to Aljo is he's gonna get hurt. But at the end of the day, as much as it hurts me saying this, it's the best thing for the division. And Aljo, man, I don't know how he's gonna feel after this fight's over. I respect Aljo. For a minute, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw him do what he did, I called him a bitch. All right, I ain't gonna lie. I called him, but I gave it some time, and I thought, you know what, this kid, he's young, right? He's a young kid, right? He's older than me, but he's young, right? And he looked at his options. He was realistic with himself, and he said, hey, if I'm being honest, if I'm really being honest right now, if I was to go on and basically, the way the fight was going, he was getting broken, right? If it goes the way it's going, I'm going to lose, and he even said this, I'm never going to get a title shot, right? I think he said it in his, basically where he addressed getting the belt after the fight, and he said he had to contemplate, and you have to understand, he was getting screwed. So he didn't care about doing the right thing because the right thing wasn't done for him. So he's in a weird situation where he did what he had to do. And you asking me, right? Would I have done what Aljo did? No. But in those circumstances, would I think about it? I would. But if I'm just being as a man, I couldn't do that. I'm a competitor. Then I feel like every person is somewhat of a competitor, and you don't want to be known as a guy that took the easy way out to get the belt. You want to be known as a guy that earned it. And I think that's a big motivation for Aljo going into this rematch, right? But I think Aljo should be happy with, even if, let's say, Jan destroys, he should be happy with his resume. You beat Corey, you beat Pedro, you beat Jimmy Rivera, you beat some really good guys, right? So there's no shame in that. You beat Renan Barão too, if that means anything. But, those are good wins. But at the end of the day, he still hasn't lost yet. And in this rematch, Aljo, I actually respect Aljo a little bit in this rematch. In the first fight, I respected Aljo so much. You could go watch my breakdown. I thought him and Jan was going to be fight of the year. I thought it was going to be like Figueiredo versus Moreno. And I think, if I'm being honest, I think they owe us that. Because that first fight, I was shocked. I was like, oh my God, Jan is the GOAT. He's going to kill everybody. When I seen that, I was like, what he was doing to Aljo, he made Aljo look like a fucking amateur MMA fighter, a fucking pro circuit fighter that didn't know how to use his stamina correctly. He was just acting like the veteran, Even though I'm pretty sure, actually, I might be wrong about who has more fights, but Aljo is the UFC vet, no matter what, and Jan is the UFC newcomer. Yet Jan looked like the veteran in there, fighting smart, using fight IQ, wasn't using too much energy. Wasn't going for dumb takedowns, And he was dominating Aljo everywhere in the wrestling, in the strike. He just made Aljo look stupid, right? So, obviously, it was so lopsided. I'm going to assume, like, Aljo had some excuses going into there, like he just didn't feel right. And I'm going to give him that. Because I know Aljo is better than that. And I know they owe us a better fight. Just how I feel, right? How I personally feel. And I hope the second fight, usually these rematches have been really, really good. But, this year, I hope it's a great fight. I hope it's back and forth. They're bantamweight, so they're going to fight at a really good pace. Um, and yeah, I'm just saying they owe us a better fight than that. And I was talking to one of my homies about it, and I was like, yeah, they owe us a better fight. And I think Aljo, knowing how much he's gotten so much heat, everything that people have said about him, it's like for him, if I was to ever talk to Aljo, I was like, I would want to know how does it feel to be, to become beloved, and to be hated, and just in a day's span. And he did a lot of dumb stuff, holding the belt, drinking wine, eating cheese, drinking wine, enjoying enjoying that fake ass belt, right? And he did a lot of things that was super suspect. But I mean, it is what it is. You can't. I'm mad at him. I was mad at him, before, but there's been a lot of time that has passed, and it is what it is. I know Jan is probably gonna get that belt back, and honestly, I feel more bad for Aljo than I dislike, because it's like, he made a mistake. He shouldn't have done what he did. He should have just manned up, but he didn't do it, and he made the decision to do what he had to do, and I don't think he faked it too. I don't want to. I'm not a guy that likes to say people fake injuries. I've been in a situation where I broke my whole entire foot, and people were trying to say I faked the injury, and I had to end up getting surgery. So I don't like saying that shit because it hurts. It does hurt when you hear somebody say, "Hey, you faked it." That is wrong, right? The only time I've ever said somebody might have faked something, maybe Darren Till, right? But that's about it. I don't want to say Aljo faked that, or was doing acting, or he heard Mark Smith say this or that. Even though it's super suspicious, I don't want to be that guy. But all I know is I know Aljo's going to come with a bigger motivation in this rematch. But I think Jan is going to come with the fact that, hey, I dominated. Well, he didn't dominate, but I was finna kill you in the first fight. And I think that even though Aljo can go deep and he can dig deep and he can be in them trenches, Jan, he can dig deeper. He can go harder in those trenches. And that's where it's gonna be. And I hope it's a great fight. I hope it's one of those crazy where it's tied and Jan just like kind of destroys him in the fifth round. And that's what I hope. But you never know. So it is what it is. It's just obviously it's fantasy stuff I'm talking about. But the last piece of news, and I'll be out of here, y'all. Colby fucking Covington versus Kumar Usman 2. Scammer boy versus the American Dream. This is going to be fucking phenomenal at MSG UFC 268, baby. This is how it should have been the first time. But instead they put that bum Nate Diaz and that other dude Street Bum in there. Goddamn fools. But it is what it is. You know what? I told y'all I was never going to disrespect Kumar Usman if he defeated, if he finished Jorge Mas. But I said I wasn't going to call him Marty. But I didn't say I wasn't going to call him a scammer boy. Because that's what he is. Alright? Don't get mad because I'm calling him that. But it is what it is. I'm telling y'all right now. Yeah, I'm a little biased. I am a Colby fan. But what happened in that first, I don't care what nobody say. What happened in that first fight wasn't a fluke. These guys are neck and neck. I know I've seen this on my Twitter a lot. Like Usman is all the way above Colby, and Colby's some type of dumb bitch that got lucky in the first fight that made it that close, but he got his jaw broken boy. That's all I keep on seeing. And then I post this video and I say what I say, right, on Twitter, and it blows the fuck up. Alright? And I'm like, God damn, what's wrong with you niggas? And I get it. Right? Hey, I will say one thing. Colby didn't want to fight him in the beginning. Yeah, Usman did call him out 1,000 times. I know, that's true. You're right. But if I'm fighting for interim titles, or if I'm fighting for, potentially the world title of the world, would I fight number 8 or number 5 Kumar Usman both times that Usman's called him out? No. He's a scammer boy, and he better sit his ass down. I ain't gonna fight him. So Colby did the right thing. But instead, Colby doesn't have Ali as a manager. Usman did. So Colby, he don't know how to negotiate contracts, or Dan Lambert, or whoever negotiated the whole entire Tyron Woodley fiasco with him, right? When Woodley was the champ, and Usman got it. Okay, it's that simple. And now they ended up fighting each other. Usman got the W. No, I'm not gonna even talk about the finish or the stoppage or any of that. That it is what it is. Usman won that. Usman, I will give it to Usman. The 5th round belongs to y'all. I'm not gonna complain. Have it. I know other Colby fans complain about. No, have the 5th round. Have the fight. I'll even give y'all the fight, right? But to say that Colby doesn't deserve this is y'all tripping. I like Leon. Y'all know I love Leon. But Leon, I wouldn't have a problem if Leon had fought for this, but here's the thing. To act as if that fight wasn't close, that first fight, y'all tripping. Right? They were neck and neck. And look at the scorecards. 3-1 Colby, 3-1 Usman, 2-2 going into the scorecards would have been crazy. Now I think Usman would have won no matter what. Don't get it twisted. But the scorecards were crazy. And then to beat Tyron, I know it is what it is. Burns beat him, Usman beat him, yeah. And then even Vicente beat him after. But look at the guys that got title shots off of that. Right? Burns got a title shot off of that. So what, Colby can't? What are y'all talking about? You know? And if you look at the way these guys have basically got title shots, right? They beat Dos Anjos, they beat Damian Maia. Colby got that on his resume already. Before Burns or Usman. Burns he didn't fight Dos Anjos, but he fought Maia, right? His resume, he's deserving. He's a legit top guy. He should have fought for the belt before any of these guys. And that's just a fact. And you can't deny it, right? So he's been screwed multiple times. He is beyond deserve this, right? And just because he runs his mouth, right, it is what it is. But in terms, if you talk about what he's done, he deserves it. And I know you guys want to say, oh, he's fought guys past his prime. He fought Robbie Lawler past his prime. He fought Tyron Woodley past his prime. He didn't fight Rafael Dos Anjos past his prime. He fought Dos Anjos at 34, motherfucker. All right? Dos Anjos was in his prime. Okay? So stop it with the nonsense. All right? And Usman followed, he followed him. He ended up fighting Maia and Dos Anjos, before Colby. So Colby, I'm not saying Colby, you guys should, respect Colby. It is what it is. But he deserves this fight. All right? He's he's a good fighter. All right? And Usman, he wanted to fight Jorge. What did Jorge do? But y'all was okay with that because of the money. There's going to be money here too. Don't think there ain't going to be no money. There's going to be money here. And I'm telling y'all right now, this fight's going to be a lot different from this. There's going to be wrestling. I'm positive there's going to be more wrestling in this fight. And I'm positive to say the Division I athlete, and no disrespect to Usman, national champion as a D2 wrestler, but the Division I athlete is going to shine. I truly believe it. No, even if Usman dominates the first 2 rounds with the wrestling, I think Colby comes back. Go look at Colby's wrestling matches. Go look at the way he perseveres through adversity. Go look at that. Y'all gonna cry. America gonna rise. Hey, but it's not. Hey, I'm joking though. All right, Nigeria, I'm joking. Okay, it's a joke. Don't get mad because I keep calling this boy a scammer boy. He a scammer boy. It's in his blood. Don't get mad. But it's a joke though. It is what it is. But yeah, y'all crying. Y'all was crying at Twitter. And that's how it's gonna be right now. I've been a very, very nice Colby fan. But I'm done. The fight got announced. Your boy faked a body kick. That's a fact. He faked a body kick. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all don't want to talk about that though. Man, and even the eye poke, I'll let that go. He did get it. And I'll even say, y'all like to bring it up. Oh, Colby got, hit in the jaw and then he tried to fake getting hit in the eye. Okay, I'll give you that. But I ain't ever seen Colby fake a nut kick, and act like, oh, this and that. So it is what it is. I think Colby gets this done. I'm picking Colby in the rematch. That's all y'all got to know. Yeah, the American dream will rise again. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. I was super... I was acting like a complete fool today. But, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to follow me on my Instagram. Don't forget to follow me on my Twitter. All those links will be down below in the description box. Subscribe. Like the video. share the video, go click the notification button. Let's get this eBay Fight Prediction Nation growing. Love y'all and goodbye. And I love my Usman fans. Y'all, I love y'all. And I love my people from Nigeria. Don't get it twisted. Y'all be scamming, but I love y'all.
James. And speaking of spineless cowards, Marty Fake Newsman, Street Judas, we got unfinished business. There's nowhere to run and there's nowhere to hide. I'm coming for you. You're next!